There is a silence that follows every act of kindness, a silence that most people never hear. It comes after the smile fades, after the thank you has been said. It's the sound of the giver standing alone. Kindness is a beautiful thing, but beauty has a cost. And if you've ever been the one who gives too much, loves too deeply, or understands too often, you know exactly what that cost feels like. It's not written in words, it's written in your exhaustion, in your quiet disappointments, in the way you look at the world and realize not everyone feels as deeply as you do. There's a dark side to kindness that few dare to talk about, because we've been taught that to be kind is to be good, and to question it is to sound bitter, ungrateful, or cold. But the truth is, even light casts a shadow. Sometimes, kindness becomes a prison, a gentle chain we wrap around our own wrists. We say yes when our soul whispers no. We forgive when our heart still bleeds. We listen to others while secretly wishing someone would listen to us. And over time, that quiet self-betrayal starts to change something inside us. It doesn't make us cruel, it makes us hollow. People who are too kind often live between two worlds, the one they show, full of warmth and patience, and the one they hide, full of fatigue and unspoken resentment. They become masters of calm smiles, of saying it's okay when it isn't. They become experts at swallowing their pain, until one day they can't taste their own truth anymore. It's not weakness that leads to this. It's depth. It's the curse of those who feel too much, who see too far into others. You sense people's needs before they speak. You understand their pain before they confess it. You're the healer, the listener, the light in the storm. But no one asks if you've been standing in the rain too long. The dark side of kindness isn't hatred. It's erasure. Slowly, you begin to vanish from your own life. You shape yourself around others' expectations until you no longer know your own outline. You lose the right to rest, to be misunderstood, to be selfish for once. And that's the tragedy. Not that people take from you, but that you forget how to take back. Kindness becomes survival, a mask. And deep down, you start to wonder if people love you for who you are or for what you give. In this quiet exhaustion, something awakens. It's not anger, it's clarity. You begin to see that kindness without boundaries is not virtue. It's self-abandonment dressed as love. The world will always praise the giver, but rarely will it protect them. Because the truth is, genuine kindness, the kind that doesn't destroy you, is born from strength, not sacrifice. It's when you can look someone in the eyes and say, I care for you, but I will not lose myself for you. That's the moment kindness becomes pure, when it stops being an escape from guilt or fear and starts being an expression of truth. There is peace in learning to say no. There is beauty in withdrawing your energy from those who drain it. There is courage in realizing that being kind doesn't mean being available. And there is power in silence. When you stop explaining yourself to people who never truly listened, you learn that real compassion doesn't require you to burn. That detachment is not coldness, it's preservation. And that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to walk away. If you've ever felt used, unappreciated, or quietly broken by your own goodness, this is your awakening. You were never meant to be endlessly kind at the cost of your peace. You were meant to be balanced, firm and gentle, understanding yet untouchable. Because true kindness is not the absence of strength, it is the strength under control. You start to see that kindness is not about pleasing everyone. It's about staying loyal to your own heart, even when it makes you look selfish. There's a strange calm that arrives when you finally stop forcing warmth. You no longer rush to fill the silence. You stop over-explaining. You let people misunderstand you, and you realize that your worth doesn't depend on how much you give, but on how deeply you remain yourself, even when the world tries to drain you. That's when kindness becomes sacred. Not a transaction, but a truth. A quiet force that doesn't seek validation, doesn't beg for recognition. It just is. The loneliness hidden behind gentle souls. There's a particular loneliness that follows those who are kind. A loneliness that doesn't always come from being alone, but from being unseen. You can be surrounded by people, offering them your patience, your care, your understanding, and still feel like a ghost passing through their lives. Because kindness, in its purest form, is often invisible to the very eyes it saves. You start to notice how people come to you when they're broken, but rarely stay when you're quiet. They love the warmth you give, but not the silence you retreat into. They value your light, but never think to ask what it costs to keep it burning. And that's when it hits you. Your kindness has become their comfort, but your loneliness is still your own. The gentle souls of this world. They carry an invisible ache. They smile when they're tired, listen when they're empty, and love without demanding to be loved back in the same way. They're not saints. They're just aware. They understand too much. The reasons behind cruelty, the fear behind anger, the wounds behind distance. And because they see the pain in others, they hesitate to add their own. So they swallow it. They hold it. Until their silence becomes their identity. This kind of loneliness isn't loud. It's subtle, like walking through a familiar place that no longer feels like home. You still care for everyone, but you've stopped expecting anyone to care for you. Not out of pride, but because you've learned that your peace cannot depend on others noticing your struggle. That realization is painful, but it's also freeing. It marks the birth of a deeper kind of kindness, one that isn't tied to approval, one that doesn't beg to be returned. You begin to offer your compassion quietly, without explanation. You give, not because you owe it to the world, but because it's simply who you are, even if no one ever claps for you. But make no mistake, this quiet kindness has a shadow. Because when you live with that level of awareness, you also live with the ache of isolation. The world can feel painfully shallow when you see it too clearly. You start craving depth, honesty, peace, things that few are brave enough to offer. And so, your circle grows smaller, your nights grow quieter, yet somehow your soul grows larger. You learn that solitude isn't your enemy, it's your mirror. It's where you refill what the world keeps draining. It's where you realize that being kind doesn't mean being endlessly available. It means being deeply rooted, so rooted that no amount of neglect can uproot your nature. And maybe that's what real strength is. To walk through a world that misunderstands your softness, to be kind in a place that confuses kindness for weakness, and to keep giving. Not because the world deserves it, but because your soul does. It's a strange paradox. The kinder you become, the lonelier the path feels. But it's also where you discover the rarest kind of peace. The peace that comes from no longer needing to be understood, only to be true. If this reflection spoke to you, if it stirred something deep inside, then stay connected. Subscribe so you never miss a moment that whispers to your inner self. And together, we'll continue to explore the hidden truths of human nature, strength, and solitude.